Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Adam Raby, the founder of Pegawell and doing documentaries for the great state of New Mexico, and thanks for coming aboard.
I appreciate you, Steve. Thank you for allowing us to come in today.
This is, for people, you did this documentary on the gladiators, and I'll let you speak for yourself and kind of, one, how you got the idea, and you started with relationships.
Correct.
And you can just start with that, and what made you come back to do this?
It's one of those stories, Steve. I think it's really powerful about how lifelong connections, if you allow it, can be entered back into your life. And I hadn't heard from Gina in over 35 years. Gina, the owner of the Gladiators, and she called me up.
Gina Thompson.
Gina Prescore and Thompson called me up and said, "Hey, Adam, it's been a long time since we've chatted, but I bought this football team, and I was wondering if you can come out and help me." And I'm going, well, heck, I don't know much about football, but I've got a little bit of experience in life, and maybe I can come out and see how I could be a service to you and your team. And so I kind of got out here and with the idea that maybe there was an opportunity to film this or help her in some branding or some kind of filming or whatnot. And we didn't really know what all that was, but I came out here with an open mind, and then I got to a little bit know more about Gina, who I haven't seen in 35 years, and a little about her life story. And then I heard a little bit more about the coach's story, and then Delo's story, and then the pastor's story, and then some other people on the team. And I realized that this was more than football. Although they're about winning games and obviously winning championships, but this was about people who really walked through the fire of life, got to the other side, used that to heal themselves, but also now doing something really positive and meaningful in our community. And I said, you know what, this needs to be filmed. Somehow this story needs to be told, and why don't we know about this story here in New Mexico? And why don't we know about it outside of New Mexico? And I just, from that moment, I was all in.
The light bulb just went off.
Yeah, there was no plan.
Right.
There was no plan at all. And like, hey, I have an idea, and this is how it's going to play out. I just came here, and it was there. It was already there.
And back to relationships, and I don't want to date you and I myself, but right. I hadn't seen you in a long time.
Yeah,
and
right.
One of your first phone calls was to me and Proview Networks.
Right.
And it was very humbling for me. One, just if anybody knows me, I'm very passionate about anybody I meet.
Correct.
I really want success for anybody that does business or personal goals, coaches, and anything that I'm around. I really want the best for them.
Right.
And if I can help and contribute, then my arms are out there. But it was really nice for you to give me a call, and then it even actually got us closer to the Gladiators, because Gina was, under, she's a new owner.
Correct.
She was a part owner last year, and then she took over the new ownership last year, and she had everybody coming at her from different directions for just because she's and it kind of solidified her with you.
Right. Absolutely. And in our relationship, as you said, we've known each other for a long time, and again, about how relationships come back, and if you sometimes in relationships they go sour and sometimes they don't. But the thing is that we can always come back and refresh those things. We can always come back and add value to our relationship. And certainly our relationship has just started off where it was, but also it helped that relationship with the Gladiators too. So it's interesting how it all happens, right? If you allow yourself to be open to all the possibilities. And certainly us meeting again, when I walked in the room and saw you, it was like, oh my God, got up, gave you a big hug, and it was powerful for me because it was like it brought me back to this place where I had a lot of great memories and a lot of bad memories. But the fact is that I came back and then all this stuff started unfolding, and how powerful that is for me.
And it also says a lot for who you are, okay, and what you have done in your past, because it was like, it was like a long lost friendship that was like, it just seemed like we just picked up, like, like we just saw each other last,
Exactly.
And it wasn't like we were like really close
Correct.
when you were here, but
Right.
it was the times we did meet were very, very meaningful.
Absolutely, yeah, they always were, and that's something that I cherish, is those moments, and I probably didn't honor them as much as I did in the past, but now that I get to come back, as I've changed some things in my own life, I get to really refresh and renew these friendships that I had in the past and allow them to be something different today. And so certainly Gina was part of that. You're part of that. And then all of a sudden now I'm back here creating all these amazing friendships and relationships with the people that I haven't seen in 25, 30 years. I had an opportunity yesterday to meet with Scott Carruthers, and Scott's the executive director, cabinet member for the state of New Mexico for African American here in New Mexico. And I hadn't seen Scott since high school at Albuquerque High. And we sat down and had a very meaningful, powerful conversation about our lives and about where we're at and how we can help community. And so it's happening. It's out there. We just got to connect each other and help each other. And that's what this story is about helping people.
We're going to go to the Dream Style Top 10 Plays of the Week, come back, and we're going to have a little trailer of what we're talking about, and throw that little carrot out to everybody.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Right bootlegs.
And he's going to take
got
off
running
running.
room, and he will run for the pylon dives. I believe it's a scoreless.
Here's the handoff, cutting across the 10 to the 5, a stiff arm to the end zone and in.
Second down and 10. We'll hand off to Gorey. Gorey's got some beautiful blocking. He turns on the jet. Turbo engage. Touchdown, Elijah Gorey.
Fake the O'Hare now. Got a screen. Brown is set up nicely. Two blockers in front. Brown cuts it back 45, 40, 35, 30. He might take it to the house. LaShawn Brown is gone.
Tied out there. Trio's going to keep it this time, and he got through one, and he's going to hurdle into the end zone. As he steps out of the pocket looking and fires too far. It was tipped, but then it's caught, and all the room in the world. Touchdown. Gonna hand it off to Acosta. Has all the room and is in. Touchdown for the win. Hernandez up and through and
Centennial have won it.
What a football game, though. Big heart by.
Oh man, this beat is crazy.
Down a little bit here in the last few moments.
Whoa!
There's a big right. And down goes Arturo.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We have Adam Raby here, the founder of Pega Wells, and also doing a unbelievable doc. I've seen it, so I just want to say it kind of blew me away. I mean, and I can't wait to see this show up, and we can speak more on that. But you really captured New Mexico at its finest.
Yeah, and it's just. Our goal is to allow people to tell their own story. And what we found out is that when people tell their story, they start healing themselves. And then when that happens and they start sharing their story, that gives people the opportunity to maybe find their own medicine that they have inside them. And so, I've come back here. This is a very beautiful, powerful place. It's amazing, the energy it has in New Mexico. And I just think that, we need to tell more of these stories out there and help people. And I think this story says that all by itself. And so we're thankful to be here.
Well, let's watch a little bit of this trailer, and then we'll talk more about what's going to happen with this trailer in the near future.
Thank you. I hadn't heard from Gina in 35 years. She calls me up and says, hey, I feel like I'm at this moment in life where I need to reach out to you. And I want your help. I bought a football team, and I want you to come here to Mexico and help me. And I'm going, I don't want to go back to Mexico. It's never been home for me. Maybe I can help you. I don't know anything about football, but maybe I can come help you.
How many chances do you get to make a first impression? One. Here we go. How do we handle sudden change? We overcome. We adapt. We don't let that change get to us. You got it? We're the champions. Let's go. Let's go defend it. Let's go. Let's go, Let's go, baby. You guys on three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Everybody came from different walks of life, and they all come together on one field.
Davis turns on the Jets. Lot of green in front. That's a touchdown for Dello Davis.
It's not a vision, it's a memory of seeing my body and dying at the hospital.
She slid across the table a birth certificate that I ain't never seen before. You were adopted. I don't know who I am. Oh my God, I'm Native.
I'm facing, and I don't even know it yet, but taking between 500 and 600 pills a month.
I go home, I'm not even a store in my hometown no more. I'm not really doing much back at home. I feel like an old regular Joe when I go back at home, but when I come out here, I'm Big Dello the champ.
It was the first time I ever hung up on her was that day. There was an explosion. I never got to talk to her again.
Hey, son, what's up, man? I can't wait. I'm gonna be there next month. All right, I love you.
I love you too.
I want different. I don't want to be different. I want different. My kids back at home in St. Louis, I got to get them out.
So then being in and out of jail started, and the alcohol and the drug abuse started.
Overcoming those challenges with addiction is realizing that you're not alone. In Albuquerque, it's reflective of something we're all dealing with together.
This was my mother's going away gift to me. And so, something as small as the Duke City Gladiators is the tool that I'm using to fulfill my legacy.
I think the Gladiators are going to touch this community.
Honestly, for right now, until I get to another place, this is my NFL.
I felt called and pulled back to this physical place.
I'm in a place right now where, thank God, this exists for me.
What I'm learning about serving other people and helping other people and healing other people, it's selfish because it heals me. And so in a weird way, I'm out here healing me.
documentary, and what I want people to, you did this out of your own pocket, and that just shows character of who you are and what your company, Pegawell, does.
I appreciate that. There was not a lot of opportunities for us to do this differently, and it meant so much. This is really personal to me because this is a place where I grew up. And it's a place that in a lot of ways we're recognized for doing things, being last place in a lot of the wrong categories. And I think there's a lot of really powerful stories here in New Mexico about healing and helping each other and doing the right thing and walking through life. And I think for me, it was about making sure that the story was told as is and not being distorted by other outside sources. And so I've committed myself to making sure that I do this in the most truthful way, and that's carry it through to the end. And that's what I'm doing.
Well, let's talk about, this is the trailer, so let's talk about what this trailer is going to happen in the next coming months.
So in October 4th and 5th here in Albuquerque, October 6th in Santa Fe, October 8th in Chicago, October 10th in Austin, October 12th, we're going to reveal this 65-minute documentary. It's a pilot to a 7-part docuseries. So the next phase is to show the pilot, and the pilot's going to be an extended version of what you've seen in the trailer. And then at that point, we're going to go back, so we've still got a lot of filming to do, a lot of the backstory of each one of these characters. And so each character will have 1-hour segment. That's how powerful their story is. That's how powerful these people have shared their story with us, that they deserve that whole hour, because to tell their whole story, we couldn't do it in 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 35 minutes. We need the whole hour. And so the idea is...
So it's a story within a story. It's going to have a 7-part ending.
Yes, exactly. Right? So there'll be, each character will have an hour episode, and at the end of that, we'll figure out what to do with it next, which is hopefully get it out there to the world, which is through some kind of one of the streaming services.
Wow, that's so exciting. Yeah. And I, just looking at the trailer, and I even said it while we were in the deal, is that I got goosebumps on my arms. I mean, Coach Bramante, his excitement and what he brings to the city of Albuquerque and the state of New Mexico, and he's an Indian from the deal. I mean, he hits all the dynamics of what New Mexico is all about.
Right. Yeah.
And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk more about this exciting new show.
Thank you.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
ABQ ER and Hospital is changing the way you see ER in Albuquerque. We promise to see each patient within 10 minutes of arrival. ABQ ER and Hospital is now offering $25 school physicals, with 100% of proceeds donated back to the schools.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We got Adam Raby, an unbelievable story. Great thing about the Gladiators. You couldn't have picked a better year. They win. I mean,
back to back.
Back to back.
I
mean, you know, I think going back to the relationship, if this was meant to be, this was the time for it to happen. I think that timing, as you and you've already discussed, timing is so valuable in life, and
really
taking that
is.
opportunity, seeing that opportunity, taking that opportunity,
Right.
and then also finishing that opportunity.
Yeah. And you know, you're right. Timing is critical in life. You know, it's one of the two things in life that we can't make more of is time and energy. You know, they're finite, and so it's very important to not only honor the time and energy, but what are you going to do with it? And so certainly making this commitment to this story, to these people's stories, that you know, can have the possibility to help heal people. Well, I'm committed to that. You know, I'm committed to making a difference in the place that we live in. You know, part of my personal story is that, you know, from the age of 8 to the age of 43, I drank. And so I had a problem. And it was difficult for me to walk through that period of my life. But I was lucky to get on the other side of that. And now I have this passion of being able to help people tell their story, because I've had the opportunity to tell my own story by writing a couple books. But it's not about me anymore. It's really about how can I help people tell that story, because when you tell your story, you find out that there's some stuff in your story that heals you, the stuff you didn't see before, some connections you didn't see before. And so it's really important for me to go out there today and allow people to tell their story. And let's start helping each other. Let's start healing each other. And so that's important for me personally, but it's also important for the community that I came from, here in Albuquerque, here in New Mexico. Let's help each other. Our story can help other communities. And I think that's a really important part of why we're doing this, is that we want to help people, and people helping people.
Well, let's kind of go back to, you know, what's going to happen. And I think, you know, last time, you know, you talk about history, chemo theater. I mean, that's I just want to know how did that evolve?
Well, it's interesting how it all came about. Is as we've been back here a few times, and certainly there's been some instrumental people in the story. And one of the people that's instrumental in this story is Mayor Tim Killer, you know, in one Albuquerque. And he, at one time in the previous season, suited up and actually played in a preseason game for the Gladiators as the quarterback. And so he's been a big supporter.
With all the rules, he couldn't get hit.
Yeah.
Don't tell him that.
From what I understand, the opponents didn't know that he was on the field, that he was the mayor of Albuquerque. But you know, so he was instrumental in, I guess, us learning more about how important sports and community is. Right? And Proview Sports is certainly a vital element to enhancing and telling how important sports is in the health of the community and the health of our youth, right? And so he was very vital in telling that part of the story in this thing that we're going to be showing. And so we were excited about seeing him, and so he kept on asking, well, what's next? And I said, well, you know, we're going to come out with this 65-minute pilot to this documentary. He goes, well, if you want the chemo, I'll provide it for you. And so one Albuquerque, in the city of Albuquerque, Mayor Tim Keller,
you know, that's one thing about Tim. He sees a vision, and it wasn't. He just, you know, you captured his heart, because he, you know, my conversations with him was, you know, he's really helped Proview Networks move to another level, and he sees kind of the vision of what Proview Networks wants to. But that's awesome. Just in a matter of he saw that in you. Right,
exactly. And so he says, you know, how about you know, you can show it at the chemo. And we're like, wow, really? The historic chemo, the place that, you know, was iconic growing up here in this city. And so, you know, downtown Albuquerque, you know, October 4th and 5th at 7 p.m., doors open at 5:30. And, you know, how amazing it is for us to get that opportunity to show this there about something that's from here. And I think that's just so powerful.
Well, you know, going back to that trailer, you know, and I just, when you were walking, you just told me that's like 35, 40 minutes from Albuquerque. I thought it was maybe further up north and, you know, maybe more toward Farmington or in that area.
Yeah,
but when you told me that's, that in itself is something that I want to go walk that.
Right. Yeah, it was a powerful moment to walk up there, and certainly it was a little odd with cameras focused on you and whatnot, but you know, I'd never been there my whole life. I've lived here my whole life. I've never been to Tent Rocks, and it was a powerful moment to walk up that way where water had carved that space out of that canyon, but not only, but how many people have walked up that to the top of that mesa? Millions.
Well, and then that just opens on how many close, I mean, we think about Albuquerque, how many, within a 60-mile radius of all the beauty that is around Albuquerque and New Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, Albuquerque or New Mexico, Albuquerque and New Mexico, it's this paradox. It's got these beautiful, amazing parts about it, and then we've got this other part about it that's a little dark, and part of our history and part of some other things, and you know how some other things are happening in our communities. But let's tell the whole story. Let's not just tell one or the other. Let's tell the whole story, and then that's why people can relate to it. When you tell the whole story, and that's what this is telling people's story, and then allowing people to receive it, you know, and hopefully that will help them change.
So what's the next step? Is this just opening up a bunch of doors, and people are, you know, you're getting your name and doing, you know, you got a great director. You know, I mean, you might want to speak of him a little bit.
My filmmaking partner, Jose Valdez, you know, amazing. He's what they call in the industry a predator. He can film, he can produce, he can direct, he can edit, he can do it all, and he's just amazing. Not only as an artist in that,
but he also sees your dream and vision, and that's hard to get. That's hard.
And that's certainly the next part is that we're like-minded. You know, we see and we care about people, and we care about stories, and we care about making a difference, and that's something that when we first met for the first time, we knew that about each other. It's one of those things you just know about somebody. You get that feeling. And so there's a lot of things that we have conversations and we don't even have to finish the sentences. And we don't even have to talk about things because we're like-minded and we believe in helping people, and we're committed to this.
Well, quickly, let's go with your other. We start in Albuquerque and walk me through that.
So we started in Albuquerque, October 4th and 5th at the Chemo. And then we're in Santa Fe on October 6th at the Crown Violet Theater. And those are showing start at 4 and 4:30 because they're small theaters there. And then we moved to Chicago on October 8th, and that's the AMC 21 River East Theater, and that will be at 6:30 in Chicago. And then the next one will be in Austin, October 10th, and that will be also at the Crown Violet Theater in Austin, Texas. And those showings are at 7 and 7:30, and then we finish up in San Diego at the Lot Theater in La Jolla, California, and that will be at 5 and 5:30 on October 12th. So a lot of people excited. There's people in Chicago excited, Austin, San Diego, Albuquerque. People are getting excited about this. So we're just feel really blessed and honored to be the caretakers of this.
So how do we get a hold of Adam Raby?
You can reach me at www.suddenchangedocumentary.com. You can also reach me at adamfrancisraby@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to help anybody any way I can, as well as give you any kind of information on what we're trying to do and how we're trying to help people.
Well, Adam, hey, thanks for coming on the Steve Davis Show, and great for promoting the state of New Mexico and the city of Albuquerque.
Thank you, Steve.
And also the Gladiators. I've been not forget the
Gladiators. Not the
Gladiators.
Absolutely. And so we're thankful for them too. We're a small part of their story, and this is their story. This is not my story.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you.
ABQ ER and Hospital is changing the way you see ER in Albuquerque. We promise to see each patient within 10 minutes of arrival. ABQ ER and Hospital is now offering $25 school physicals with 100% of proceeds donated back to the schools.